So grace and gratitude, those two badass sisters, serve as catalysts that transform disparate individuals into a community. Practiced with discipline and consistency, they also change our understanding of life and even our brain chemistry. Gratitude makes us happier. Grace makes us more peaceful. Practicing gratitude leads us to experiences of grace. Embracing grace guides us gently back to the practice of gratitude. So today we'll reflect on gratitude and grace as both personal and communal disciplines. Now, have any of you participated in the 30 days of gratitude exercise? Anyone? All right, so we have some people who've done it. I have several friends who have done it, and one friend in particular who's done it for at least 6 years in a row now. Here's a partial list of things that I've seen lifted up as reasons to be grateful. Cranberry sauce, toilet paper, good books, pets, family members, friends, running water, heat, air conditioning, friends again, the ability to walk, the ability to see, the ability to sleep, good music, beautiful art, friends again, the sunset, health insurance, flannel sheets, chocolate, and wine. Now let me ask you, what are you grateful for? What? Yarn.
Clean water.
Clean water.
A job.
A job. Washing machines. Huh?
My children.
Your children.
Second that one.
Yeah, okay. Grandchildren. Spouse.
This church.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to make me blush. Now, we could go on for a very long time, and it would likely be a productive thing to do. There's a direct correlation between the choice to feel gratitude and happiness in our lives. Scientific studies clearly show that gratitude practices work to improve both physical and mental health. An article in Psychology Today that reviews some of those studies prescribes, and this is a prescription, practicing gratitude daily for at least 2 to 3 months to see true results. So discipline, when I talk about the discipline of practicing gratitude, is really the right word to use. The article offers the following suggestions for those of us who might get stuck or need a little help getting started. Number 1, think of a person who's helped you in life. It may be a teacher, friend, parent, or mentor. Spend a few minutes reflecting on the ways they've helped you and the benefits you've gained as a result. Then, and this is what I like, it gives you the next step. Write them a card. Give them a call. Visit them or send them an email to tell them how their help has improved your life. If you're no longer in contact, write the card anyway and then keep it to remind you to feel grateful. Second thing to try, take a walk in nature or in your garden. As you do so, think about all the ways that nature helps us to sustain life and feel happier and more comfortable. Focus on feeling grateful for fresh air and water, the natural beauty of a flower, the peace that the ocean, lakes, or mountains give you, the shade of a tree. Number 3, think of somebody in your life that helps you on a daily or weekly basis. A partner, a parent, a best friend, a beloved pet, a boss, a teacher, a cleaner, a babysitter. Spend a week observing and focusing on all the different ways in which they make your life happier or more comfortable. And then make a plan to do something special for them to show your appreciation. 4, as you sit down to dinner at night, think about the people who helped this food get onto your table. This may include the farmer who grew the food, the workers who picked the crops, the drivers who transported it, the person who earned money to pay for the food, and so on. And number 5, think about how you can live a life that conveys gratitude to the planet for all that we have. Don't overuse water or electricity. Recycle. Buy sustainable products. Donate to charity. Volunteer to help the needy. Work in an animal shelter or clean up a natural area. Get involved in your community. Living responsibly and doing acts of service should help you feel good about your life and more aware of your connection to other living things. The more time we spend working on our gratitude practice, our gratitude discipline, the happier we become. In the words of Sarah Van Brethnach, both abundance and lack exist simultaneously in our lives as parallel realities. It is always our conscious choice which secret garden we will tend. When we choose not to focus on what is missing from our lives, but to be grateful for the abundance that's present, love, health, family, friends, work, the joys of nature, and personal pursuits that bring us pleasure, the wasteland of illusion falls away, and we experience heaven on earth. The wasteland of illusion falls away. That moment when the illusion of scarcity falls away, that is a moment of grace. Now, for Christians, grace is defined as the unmerited love and favor of God, but people who don't believe in God still have access to grace, and gratitude is the path that gets us there. André Comte de Sponville writes in the Little Book of Atheist Spirituality, "We spend most of our time running after things we do not possess, things we consider to be missing and wish to procure for ourselves. We are prisoners of lack, prisoners of nothingness. Nothingness clings to us because we cling to it. Yet there are the occasional moments of grace when we cease hoping for anything other than what is. Moments when nothing is missing, when there is nothing to either wish for or regret." Sounds pretty wonderful, huh? Yeah. I think if we're going to keep anything from the Christian definition, we might consider the word unmerited. The goodness that fills our life, most of it we didn't earn, nor do we necessarily deserve it. Nothing eats away at gratitude and happiness faster than a sense of entitlement. Or we could flip it around. We don't have to earn love or acceptance. We don't have to deserve good things. We can be loved and accepted, held in goodness and care just as we are. We don't have to be perfect to be worthy. Our worth is inherent. Gratitude leads naturally to experiences of grace, or maybe it's the other way around. Most likely it's a feedback loop. Gratitude leads to grace, leads to gratitude, leads to grace. Anne Lamott writes, the movement of grace toward gratitude brings us from the package of self-obsessed madness to a spiritual awakening. Gratitude is peace. Maybe you won't always get from being a brat to noticing that it's an E.E. Cummings morning out the window, but some days you will. You will go from being Doug or Wendy Weiner with your psychic diverticulitis, able to eat only macaroni and cheese, and remembering, I thank you, God, for most this amazing day. You splurge on a pint basket of figs or a pair of great socks. You begin to feel friendship with your flowering pear tree, an interspecies oneness with it, although we usually keep these thoughts to ourselves lest they be used against us at the commitment hearing. In fact, you are able to use the word wonder again, even feel it, without despair that the New York literati or your atheist friends will find out and send you into exile. Moments of wonder, moments of bliss, moments of deep peace, moments of awe. That's what grace looks like for most of us. Not a blanket forgiveness of our sins, but rather the lifting away of everyday concerns that wear us down and dull our perceptions, so that for a shining moment we feel whole, even in our brokenness. We're at home in our own skin. We recognize the miraculous beauty that surrounds us always, and for a moment, just a moment, we don't take it for granted. Everything is holy, and we are a part of everything, which means we are holy too. Now, when we take these personal practices of gratitude and grace into community, it transforms our relationships. We already know this. The social graces begin with teaching what? Please and thank you, right? Especially thank you. When my kids were little, I remember reminding them to say thank you, and that was an ingrained and automatic habit. More bread, Mommy. More bread, please. Peas. What do you say? Thank you. Right? Rinse and repeat over and over a time. Hundreds of times, I think, each generation in turn. And then came the moment when my mom joined us for dinner and asked me to pass her the salad. And without missing a beat or even pausing to think about it, I was like, pass you the salad, please. And we both cracked up. I'm just glad that I didn't use my other favorite technique, which was, of course, to ask, what's the magic word? As we age and our understanding of group dynamics becomes more sophisticated, we begin to learn the subtle clues and cues. Some people are incredibly sensitive and so good at understanding what other people need and want. And some of us have other gifts. When I think about what it means to be gracious, I think about people who are able to maintain their composure and dignity no matter what they're confronted by. There's surface graciousness, and then there's that bone-deep graciousness. You remember the movie Borat? It came out a few years ago with Sacha Cohen. There's a scene there where he's having dinner with some wealthy folks somewhere in the South. And in this dinner, he keeps saying and doing increasingly outrageous things. And you gradually see his hostess's veneer of graciousness wear thin and then shatter completely. She blows her top. Her idea of graciousness was manners and nice dishes, not being hospitable to a barbarian from, what was the name of the country? Like,
It was supposed to be Kazakhstan.
It was supposed to be Kazakhstan, but anyway, yeah. The people I admire most embody a bone-deep graciousness that's just as comfortable in a sandbox as at a dining room table. Nothing phases them. They're able to accept people where they are and make everyone feel comfortable and seen. There are several people in this room who have that kind of grace. There's an ease to it, an effortless quality. When we try too hard to make everything perfect, we can be stressful to be around. The more we can find it within ourselves to have this kind of gracious spirit, the more we're able to create a gracious space where people feel safe to show their vulnerable side, their true selves. We all need places where we can slow down and breathe and get in touch with our feelings and share them. We need places where it's safe to speak our truths, even the hard truths. We're in a liminal moment right now, culturally. I don't know exactly what shifted, but in the last few weeks, women have been coming forward and talking about sexual assault and sexual harassment. The Me Too movement is transforming our society. I think about the first few women who came forward and the way with each new statement of solidarity, more people felt safe to name what it's like to be a woman in this country. We're learning together. We're evolving together. We're working on deconstructing patriarchy together because we recognize the way it causes harm to us all, regardless of our gender identity. And what makes it possible? The sense of safety and solidarity that comes from millions of women naming their truths and being heard, telling their stories and having them believed. This is a fierce kind of grace, a grace that refuses to play nice, a grace that demands acknowledgement and reflection and even change. Creating gracious space for others doesn't mean forgetting or sacrificing ourselves. Everyone needs to feel free to bring their whole self, their power, and their presence. Then we listen, we learn, we grow, and we offer compassion to ourselves and one another. And that's when the miracle unfolds. Gratitude plays a key role in this process. You see, these truths, some of them, are hard to hear. When we hear a hard truth, the temptation might be to get defensive or reactive, to say, "Not me." But if we remember that the truths that are hard to hear are even harder to say, then our response naturally becomes grounded in gratitude. We feel gratitude for the courage of the speaker, gratitude for the lesson, and gratitude for the opportunity to understand something new about what it means to be human in relationship with other humans. When we allow our gratitude for the relationship to outweigh our need to be right, that's when genuine connection across difference becomes possible. Now, some of us may be heading into Thanksgiving ready to bite our tongues until they are black and blue. It will help to ground ourselves in fierce gratitude. When we feel triggered or irritated, we can choose to breathe deep and focus on feeling appreciation for the gift of life, for the beauty of the earth, for the people we love and who love us, however imperfectly. It will also help to aim for grace in the face of ridiculousness. People are who they are, and as Sue Allard is fond of saying, some people just need a little more grace. I also know that some of us are dealing with loss due to death or estrangement. It would be easy to focus on the empty chairs. It will help, instead, to be fiercely grateful for the people who are still in our lives. We can choose to love the ones we're with. We can choose to remember with love those who have died. We can choose to be grateful for a life that allows us to be safe from abuse or toxicity. We can offer ourselves grace and space to grieve. As we let go of our need for things to be different, peace and acceptance will come. Grace will come. Grace and gratitude are sisters, and they are badasses. They transform our hearts and souls. They illuminate our relationships. They heal the brokenness within us, and they help us heal the brokenness around us. Gratitude makes us happier. Grace makes us more peaceful. May your days and your lives be filled with an abundance of both. So be it, and blessed be.